10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. TNC's turn to ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. TNC's turn to ban.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another game of Dota 2 here at the C qualifier for the Boston Major. I'm Lunas and I'm joined by Blaze, and I promised 5 minutes. And I think it's actually been less than 5 minutes, or maybe around.
Not too bad off.
Alright, today we got TNC versus Mongolz.
Radiant team pick.
How do you feel about these two teams?
Mongolz were quite disappointing, to be honest with you. The last game that we got to see up against them, they were up against Mineski, and they just got rolled over. They picked an extremely defensive lineup that should have been okay in the laning phase, and then they just, whether through ability usage or positioning, got stomped in so many ways. There really was no coming back from it. So we're going to hope that they get a better start here in this game, as they are going to be looking to pretty much make or break. They have to, I would say, just about win everything if they're going to be able to make it through to playoffs, and that's a hard pill to swallow here at the end of day one. But TNC, I think that they have a lot of potential. These players have individually shown what they're capable of, and now on this kind of newer roster, they have a lot to prove. So I think that Team C is probably in that kind of like 5th or 6th best in a lot of people's minds. Maybe that's a bit of an overrate for them, but they certainly don't think so. They're going to put their best foot forward and try to do everything that they can to make it through to the playoffs.
Well, on paper, both of these teams are 0% win rate today. 0-3 is Mongolz, 0-2 is TNC, but TNC's played against, to me, the much tougher teams, right?
Exactly.
They had a very close game against Mineski where they were actually leading.
I thought they'd have that.
Perhaps that was a 3-2-2 throw, but you know, they lost to Faceless, which, you know, who haven't by now. So I think TNC is actually the team that's supposed to take this game, in fact, quite easily. But, you know, the reason that we do play this game is that sometimes upsets do happen. So let's see if Mongolz could make that happen. That's a pretty brave Tinker pick into the PA, which is generally, you know, a pretty good target to go right on top of your face. With that said, though, you do have that laser blind to protect you somewhat against the PA.
Yeah, so we'll see kind of how that matchup of missing and evasion comes into play. But I do remember that this was something that Mineski banned out in Phase 2 against them. So maybe they're just worried that Sanke won't get the chance to play one of his favorite heroes, and they want to make sure that they get it nice and early. I mean, there's definitely no strategic advantage to having the Tinker early, so I would definitely say it's because they're afraid it's going to get banned.
Okay. Well, they better have a good damn Tinker player, because to me this hero's often very hit and miss. A lot of times the enemy team will draft a ton of heroes to counter it. So the Tinker player is already in a tough spot when the game begins. Oracle is your, you know, protection hero, but I don't think Oracle could do it alone here, as this TNC team already has a lot of chase. False Promise or not, they could still run you down right after that.
What I do like about this lineup is that you're able to actually stagger the blind and the disarm, so it's going to be very hard for PA to focus on a single target. Of course, that does mean that part of her time she will be immune to the damage that you're mostly putting out between Oracle and Tinker, but it's better than her actually like coup de grace-ing you in the face. So, in the end, I think that TNC are pretty happy with this opener. I mean, Solidar PA is still going to be able to run down targets very well. And they even have that option of going into potentially a support PA. It's been something we see in Europe mostly, but...
Have you seen it since the nerf?
Since the most recent nerf, no.
Yeah.
But I did see it, like, there was a kind of intermediary nerf where just Stifling Dagger was still decent range.
Right, that was
And-
the 825 range.
Yeah, and that wasn't too bad. I still saw it after that, but most recently it's like 500 something. And
525.
Yeah.
It is, look, I'm going to say I hope we don't see it because that is very, very, very bad. You're running around for the first
not
2-3
that bad.
minutes.
It's still the same hero. It's just you have to be closer to get those off, and you're always.
Well,
gonna be
it's not the
feeding
same
Spectre.
hero, right?
Seconds
If you're playing, like, it's like saying, look, you're playing Sniper, but you have 400 range.
The reason, well, only at like the early levels though. It's still the same distance that
Right, right, yeah, I'm not hearing you. It's just that as a support, you don't get those early level quite easily.
Yeah, it's not going to be that bad, but we'll probably see the core PA. I mean, that makes the most sense, but the big thing is the Slaughter synergy. Amp damage plus Stifling Dagger, you're able to just poke from such a long distance and do a hell of a lot of damage, because you've got the vision on the target as well as that negative armor to just amp it up, and you can pretty much, no matter what role you're playing, rush out that dead zone and bring it home. But we're going to see Phase 2 open here with Storm Spirit and Alchemist, actually, being the bans, and then that Earth Spirit as well as the Kunkka being taken off the table. So TNC are a little bit more worried about being roamed on in their mid-lap matchup, as well. Mongolz are really worried about heroes that they can't control. The Storm Spirit and the Alchemist get out of control very quickly, and it's one of those things where Tinker starts to struggle against them very quickly.
Oh, I mean, this is a TNC draft. They will run at you. You cannot really run away. You talked about the vision game. There's more on top of that. That said, though, this team is quite squishy, and you're picking, into an Oracle and Tinker.
10 seconds.
A lot of people don't think about Oracle as a nuker, but he definitely can do that.
5 seconds.
I mean, I do somewhat fear for the bounty hunter if he's caught kind of randomly in the jungle being dusted. He is going to die super quickly.
Yeah, it doesn't really have any good way to deal with the Fortune's End, and at that distance, yeah, you just need one good buddy of the Oracle to kind of turn things about. So, still they feel confident picking it up, just to at least put some pressure on the Tinker, as well as roam wherever, and make sure that Oracle stays in this full 5 position, where he has to keep buying sentries.
Right.
Like you said, Vision's going to be prevalent. Maybe they go for like a Disruptor to add some glimpse value to their pool, because they're going to have Vision on pretty much everyone between the amp damage and the track after the fight breaks out pretty hard. What do you think about this being an ability to snipe the Tinker, though? Let's say Tinker gets what he wants. He gets BOTs, he gets blinks, he gets to play in the tree line. If you don't have good wards in place, there's not really any great way to punish him. I mean, yeah, you can blink cross trees blindly and hope that that's going to be the right spot, but if you're just off by a little bit, it's going to be pretty frustrating for you.
Yeah, I hear you. I guess you could look towards heroes that could give you some sort of flying vision. The best one still in the pool is something like a Beastmaster.
Okay.
Maybe it's too greedy to run it as a support position. Your lanes get a little bit wonky.
Yeah, that'd be...
Yeah. I mean, mid Beastmaster is a thing. We haven't seen it too much. Bat Rider is another hero that gives you flying vision. He's taken out. I mean, you could go hardcore with Zeus,
10 seconds
but
remaining.
I don't know. Yeah. What is the solution for that Tinker? We shall see.
5
Yeah,
seconds remaining.
the Storm Spirit would have been, but great ban again from Mongolz. I think the Bat Rider and the Storm Spirit are the best bans, but of course the Ogre and the Alchemist, 2 tanky guys that just they don't really have the damage for. So across the board, Mongols seem to at least know what they don't want in this draft, but TNC have to decide what they do want for the next 20 seconds here as the reserve time is beginning to tick down. Probably a ranged hero, probably support. I think this support would be pretty solid here, but we'll see a Timbersaw instead. That's not any of the things that I just labeled.
I'm not sure what exactly Timber is good for this lineup. I mean,
Just balling. I mean, at this point,
he's always good
Hey,
for just balling.
hey, if you need an answer to the Tinker
Cutting
in the
trees.
trees, you make sure there's
10
no
seconds
forest to hide
remaining.
within. Other than that, he's kind of awkward because there's a lot of magical and
5
pure damage
seconds
flying out, which
remaining.
Timbersaw can't really hold his own against.
Well, actually, the recent hype,
Reserve time.
the recent rage that is all the Timber builds, you go hood first.
Yeah, of course.
So
And
maybe he's okay with that,
I'm
but
surprised it took that long. Like, that is just the item. But
yeah.
you get a little bit of HP and then obviously plenty of mana, and then you're like, well, now I'll just resist the only thing that can actually kill me. Especially with the new, like the Ice kind of pioneered a max reactive armor build.
Right.
Or you're so unkillable, even after the slight nerfs to the ability. But Mongols, knowing this, have a pretty good idea of what TNC are all about, and they said, well, you have no ground target disable other than Crush, and we're going to try to take advantage of that. Now, PA is actually a soft counter to Slark in the first half of the game, where the fact is he's just not able to target her. She's got evasion, she's got the blur, and he gets pretty frustrated by that. However, as soon as he picks up a
10
Silver Edge, that
seconds
all goes
remaining.
away.
Yep. And we talked about, a lot of this vision that Slaughter and Bounty gives you.
5 seconds
Well, Dark Pack
remaining.
will take it all off, and I don't know. As much as I
Radiant
don't like the
team
Timber
back.
pick, given what we've been seeing, I say now that there's a Slark, I think Timber suddenly adds a little bit more value to the game, right?
A little bit, for sure. But at the same time, like, you still need, like, the blink on the Slardar if you're going to be able to find a kill on this guy. Like, he's too slippery, he's just going to be just a little too tanky.
10
The Timbersaw's
seconds
ground target
remaining.
abilities aren't going to be just enough to finish the job. So, I mean, maybe you get a lucky
5 seconds
dagger crit
remaining.
before he's able to slip away, and that can be a game changer. But for the most part,
Reserve
I
time.
still feel like TNC are kind of
10 seconds
lacking
remaining.
something. I mean, obviously, the classic Disruptor-esque support
Radiant
is going to be
team
banned
pick.
out, and that means that they need a really good support to tie this all together, or their lanes are just going to be really weak.
So what are you exactly looking for? Are we looking for more stuns for the Slark?
I mean, our Lion, I think, is
seconds
fine.
remaining.
That should be pretty effective with the Earth Spike. I'm trying to think of
5
other
seconds
really
remaining.
good ranged supports that have that ground target disable, and it's pretty weak. Like, Leshrac and Lina are
Reserve
non-existent in the metagame. I think Moo from
5
Complexity picks it up
seconds remaining.
occasionally, but generally speaking, like, you don't want those kinds of heroes.
Woo!
And there you go.
Okay.
TNC's
I
turn
was
to
thinking
pick.
something like a Silencer. Your Slaughter goes in, Blink Crush.
Silencer against Slark?
No, you just global on top of that, and you just get the kill.
Silencer against Slark is probably the worst matchup you could ever play. Like,
Not when you're on the offensive.
Slark, his Dark Pack will purge
10
off 3 of
seconds remaining.
Silencer's abilities.
Not when you get a Crush first, right?
5
Alright, maybe
seconds
I'm,
remaining.
Just get Shadow Danced on, and you just
maybe
die.
I got my, what's it called? What do you call it?
Reserve
Rose-colored
time.
lenses.
Yeah.
Because I did play this matchup in a pub game, and I just
Yeah, and
dumpster on the
I
Slark.
assure you there have been a lot of Silencer who played this matchup in a pub game, and unless they're getting a Ghost Scepter in 15 minutes... What the fuck?!
Dude, sometimes that's why I'm the analysis. I mean, TNC probably gonna get dumpster, but you hear me out, right? Slaughter goes for the Crush, and you global on top.
Alright, well, let's see what He's got, but at this point, it's gonna be a rough one in my
Look,
mind.
Sometimes you're right.
Sometimes
Well,
you're right.
You're right.
But sometimes you have 3 different ways to purge off all of his abilities. Kraken Shell, Dark Pact, and Fortune's End. I feel like, although TNC have the advantage in terms of team, I feel that Mongolz have a draft advantage here.
I gotta say, I've never seen you that animated till just now.
I've played so many times. Silencer just feeds this situation. Like,
Okay, well-
even if he plays it perfectly, even if he itemizes perfectly, the Slark is always going to be one step ahead. I don't know, dude. We'll see how it plans out, but I really do feel like Silencer is gonna have to have the globals of his life to contribute to this. He can cancel the Dismember. He can maybe delay a Ravage. Maybe even they can pick the Oracle during the Global Silence, and that could be amazing. But there are a lot of ways that this can fall apart very quickly.
All right, I gotta get your opinion. This who's gonna be the first player with a triple kill in this lineup?
I mean, PA is the go-to. Obviously, it's PA or Slark is generally what you're looking at.
All right, I'm gonna go with the PA because the Silencer is gonna back her up.
Easy.
All
But,
right,
teleport canceled by stun.
I put no on that one.
It seems, yeah, pretty lacking, at least on Mongol's side, so it would be TNC, like Bounty Hunter, maybe. Bounty Hunter might. I'm gonna go yes, even though
Okay.
I may be wrong.
It's like a low percenter on that one. Just like the Silencer pick. All right, let's quickly introduce who's playing what. We got Cass playing that Bounty Hunter who is already getting a ton of vision in the jungle. Sam Ham, as Andy would like to call him, on that Slaughter. We got a Teehee Silencer, Cuckoo Storm on that on the PA, excuse me, and Rior playing the Timber.
Alright, so on the side
30
of
seconds
the
to
Mongols,
battle.
you've got Proxy running on that Oracle, Sanke on what seems to be a signature pickup in the Tinker. Retribution is going to be on that Slark. That'll leave the Pudge to be played by Ariuka, there we go, and the Tide Hunter will be played by Masquerade. So, newer member to the team, but is actually drafting up for them, and seems to have a pretty good idea of what he wants in a lineup. But we'll look early on. What do you think about this Oracle Pudge combo as far as early roaming and early lane dominance? Like, you can maybe go for Fortunes and Rot and make it very difficult for a target to get away, but of course that relies on the Windlace to carry the Pudge into the fight.
I think the 3 heroes actually, if you add the Slark in the conversation, right? Fortune Send into Pounce, into Hook, or Rot, either way, you get a lot of setup. And Pudge is a decent roamer once he gets to level 2. Often the problem is how do you get to level 2, especially if you don't have any ability to set up kills in lane. So we'll see if Timbersaw is going to play it, or sorry, Sam H is going to play it a little bit carelessly in the off lane. Slaughter generally a very sturdy hero, especially against melee supports, but he could definitely die here.
Yep, Slanke is taking a lot of harassment on the mid lane as well, but bottom where that first blood is going to be.
Yeah, he's dead.
Might be able to get some int back the other way though. Are you gonna deny himself?
Woo!
And that's gonna be no int for Teehee. But in the meantime, mid lane is gonna be kind of back and forth as the sentry ward was already dewarded by Cass. Gets the sentry tango out. That means Slanke is gonna be kind of out in the open, and with the Orb of Venom
Pudge is here.
and the dagger.
Pudge is here. Oh my god, he knows. In fact, he might get a counter kill here. Cuckoo's being wrought upon. Dagger coming in, blind as well, and they are gonna get the kill. So far, MVP is Pudge. Can he line blind hook? No,
Yes,
there's a.
that's exactly the hook that he was looking for.
Right.
No question about it.
That was like 90 seconds of great Dota, and then that half a second mess up. He's fine. He's gone over the hump, right? Remember, Sweat? You need that level 2. He's got it.
He's got it.
Yeah.
He's got the level 2, and he's going to be able to just waddle his way back to the mid lane where he expects most of the action to be. Unfortunately, they placed the sentry ward down when the bounty hunter had another one already, so there's no way that they currently have vision control, but Pudge does have one more sentry to spare, and it might be just the key for the Tinker to start actually feeling safe. In the meantime, bounty hunter roaming bottom, and picking up the 2-minute rune, which might enable him to go on bottom.
Also, Pudge's got Boots Gold, so I imagine that is gonna.
Oh, yeah, that'd be good.
That's huge, right? Like this early in the game, win late Boots, and a double damage.
I'm not going to see too many right clicks from him, but just the 1 or 2 that'll come out should be enough to really tip the scales. Proxy on bottom is probably dead. At this point, he did get slowed down and caught out of position, and that will be a 3v2 that nets them the Oracle kill.
Yeah. Pretty big for the bounty hunter, getting that early boost of experience. A solo smoke being popped. All right, this Pudge, let's see how much confidence. I mean, they definitely picked it, so they have confidence in a hero, but can he land them hooks? The first one in the game not the greatest, but he will have vision on the Slaughter. Okay.
Those radiant creeps are really the thorn in his side right now. Doesn't seem to be working out the way he wanted it. What is that curse? So I think he really just picked Silencer because he wants to play with this new Immortal. Like, that's actually pretty cool looking. I
mean, I hope he has maybe better reason to pick the Silencer.
He just Arcane Curse the Pudge. Look at Pudge's health. He's like 40 off of max.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. I feel like Arcane Curse at the very least is a really bad spell this game. There's so many ways to take it off or just ignore it completely. It's
good versus Proxy if he's casting a lot of spells, but he also could take it off with Fortune Sense, so yeah. I'm not sold.
We'll see. But for right now, at least, it's going to be Cuckoo actually taking a lot of harassment in mid and gets healed up. Now he's going to be sitting at about 500 HP, which is kind of scary against Tinker. Tinkers often are maxing these laser laser rockets nowadays, so it's very easy to nuke somebody down at that kind of HP threshold, and if Aryuka closes in, then that's going to be a guaranteed kill.
Well, Cass going for a courier snipe. Generally, you don't expect it around this time. He does have the level 2, so Janata is available. Courier, it will fly under Radiant Vision.
Yeah, he might be able to get it on the way back, but I think he's not too far out of position now.
Okay. He's going to miss it by a bit, so somewhat unfortunate. Is he still going for it? No, there's no way.
There's no way.
Yeah.
So at this point, he's kind of just chilling out, level 2. This is kind of one of the things where you get a little bit too into the roaming and you don't get enough success, is you just get extremely underleveled. The Tome of Knowledge helps to kind of deal with that, but at the same time, you really need these kills.
Bottom lane, Sam H going right on Retribution. Fortunate, it will fly out to buff it up. A nice block here by Sam H. Crush secondary coming
really
through.
Good crush play.
And they will get the kill, so.
That's Slaughter. I mean, if the Slaughter plays that any differently, that's not a kill, but Sam H just did that immaculately.
All right. Can we see some hooks? No.
Instead, we're going to see Tinker actually brought down in the mid lane here as Cass and Cuckoo just kind of have his number. The Sentry Ward is in place, but just a little bit too far forward, and they've got a lot of slows in their favor.
I think between the two teams, this is like the 6th or 7th Sentry Ward in this mid lane. It has been a bloodbath of wars. Oh, Pudge. This should be a very easy kill, especially with Cuckoo going by.
Got him.
Yep, blink away, but Rot
he's dead.
still sustaining. One more right click. There you go.
Radiant's
Second kill
top
came a little
tower
bit
is
slow,
under
but
attack.
you know, now Tranquil Boots on this Pudge.
Yeah. In the meantime, the Timbersaw's been happily farming up top. Rior is going to pick up his Arcane Boots and continue to push in the top lane. The Tidehunter not feeling as comfortable now that Rior has that burst combo in the ultimate. He doesn't have Chain, but just the Whirling Death doing as much damage as it does, and taking that extra damage from the Tide.
Bottom lane, Sam-H taking a ton of damage here. In fact, he is pounced on. Great kill here from Proxy on the right side. Teehee in a little bit of trouble as well. Okay, he's trying to man fight this, but there's no way.
Oh, the salve is gonna not be insufficient to keep him alive as
They
cast.
got dust if they land the hook.
Nah, it's okay. They'll take that trade at least. The silencer kill is pretty big at this point. The Slark losing his life is quite unfortunate though, as it leaves Proxy just to kind of poke at the creeps and try to get his own arcanes.
Okay, now they're gonna make a play on Proxy. They know that the Pudge has just roamed away. Ooh, nicely done here.
He's still dead. Like, that crush is so much damage.
They're
against
stacking
the
his
hero.
stun, maybe defensive hook. No, he's gonna save it to go for the offensive cast. They have dust on him. They don't even need it because he's out of mana. Now they will turn on Sam-H. Hook is gonna come in for crush. Too good here against the Pudge. Pudge will go down. Teehee now being chased by Retribution Pounce. Too far off cooldown because there's only a level 1 Pounce. And now more going to Teehee.
Yeah, at the very least, he's getting that out of these exchanges. There's a lot of intelligence building him up to be a powerhouse in the mid to late game, where he's able to do so much pure damage with glaives, and it's pretty annoying just to have either less damage on your spells or just less mana to work with, especially for an Oracle who just lost his Arcane Boots. He had 900 gold, but unfortunately wasn't able to buy up anything. Usually in that position you buy up a wand or something, just so that you get rid of your unreliable gold.
Right. We say a lot of end. He's only got, you know, 3 kill war, so it's maybe not that long.
Dude, it's just insurmountable at this point. This guy is the smartest man alive.
Alright, Pudge now in the mid lane. I gotta say, one reason that we don't see Bounty doing nearly as well in this game is the fact that there's a Pudge walking around with dust, right? That's something that at least Bounty has to be aware of. Speaking of Bounty, he's now up top trying to set up this kill. There is Ravage available, especially after that magic stick pop, so he's gotta be careful diving under the tower.
I don't know. This is a max reactive armor Timbersaw. Honestly, like, they need a big rotation. Like, they need a Tinker here if there's any chance the Ravage sets up a kill.
No, I'm saying Cass needs to be careful if he walks under tower to go for a kill. He might get Ravage just dive to the tower.
Could happen, we'll see. But for right now, Tide is kind of feeling fine and dandy. Gets his level 7 and just kind of makes his walk away. Proxy, it's actually in a bit of a vulnerable position as Sam sees him, but right now sprinting to and fro and doesn't have the backup. It's just going to be pretty much a neutral position for both sides.
Radiant's top tower.
Okay,
is under
kind of a slow farming game, which, bottom lane looks like action just picking right back up.
Pounce? He tried to pounce on the Slardar, but the sprint or the Tranquil Boots were active, and he was not able to find the mark.
Okay. Did have to spend his ult to get away from that engage. Now Tinker.
Big kill.
What? One more hit blind.
Orb of Venom.
Dagger though from a mile away, but Cuckoo is gonna go down here as Pudge ports in, gets level 6 off of that kill. He does have dust, but Bounty's already getting his heck out of there. He does get off his Arcane Boots gold from that, so both roamers getting a lot of work done, but you gotta say this Pudge pick has been really on point.
Yeah, very massive plays from Aryuka's turned bad situations into kind of
Okay ones, yeah.
And but in top lane we do see that the Dire were able to pick up the top tier 1 thanks to the pressure cut put in from the Timbersaw. Tinker has the TP effect, but no BOTs as of yet. In fact, only running the bottle and the Soul Ring at this point. And he's actually going into a 2-2-2 build, so going to be seeing a little bit of farm potential with the March Machines and a few camps stacked up. Some really good spawns too. There are no Centaurs, no Hellbears, and that is going to be boding really well for his income.
No Michael on the right part as well. Bottom lane here, Retribution. Gonna be okay here. Well, he does purge off a lot of these abilities, but not at a cost here as his HP is dropping low. No detection in this bottom lane. Masquerade coming down here, but really no mana for the Ravage. He does have a 10-stick charge. Now, Aruka? We're counting on you. Easy! By Sam-H! But is there backup? Is there any... Okay, there's nothing. Now there's a full creep wave surrounding him. He's gonna go down to T. Thanks for the hook, man. Pound's coming back in. TC's gonna get blown up, but I think that's an okay 1-for-1 trade. Especially when you're getting in out of it.
Yeah, in this position, Sam H just keeps getting healed up. Tranquil Boots and the Purifying Flames, even when in fine position, even peels the creeps back thanks to the amp. So now it's going to be a jump here. Cuckoo, double damage. He may be blinded, but it's only a moment before he's able to finish off Sanke.
Nice crit, gonna get the kill, and he's not done yet. He sees 2 more heroes. He go for more. Okay, maybe he is done. He's gonna walk away, pop that bottle charger too, and gets face boots. Okay.
Yeah, he's doing fine right now. Double damage will be purged off, but he might be able to kill him first.
Global's gonna come out here. That's gonna be 1 kill. Tractor coming out. Here comes the Pudge. Easy hook. Oh no! That's where you look over to your TIE Hunter and be like, dude,
you need to laugh for flank this.
Yeah. I mean, you know what's coming, right? Meanwhile, Rabbit's gonna fly out here. Nicely dodged by Cuckoo. He's gonna go right back in. Hook not gonna hit. Blink Strike coming off cooldown in about a couple of seconds, and so is Dagger. I gotta say, this Pudge is dead to rise. Like, yeah, he's gone.
And that Trackle too coming out
for 3.
For the 3 heroes. Yep. And TNC are gonna be feeling really good about that one. I mean, just the PA can just run down targets when she has that track movement speed advantage, and
we not done.
We are not done.
Cuckoo moving forward. Tinker trying to run away, but Timbersaw has already joined in. Dagger giving that slow blinking forward. Sanke gonna give him the blind, but they don't care. More track kills. That is yet another 3-man track here for TNC. And I now understand why. You remember the 5th ban here between Mineski versus TNC was a bounty. TNC loves to fight. They fight non-stop. And we're seeing it here.
Yeah, it's working out really well for them. They're fighting bottom as well, bringing down Proxy with just 1 more hit. The hook gets some distance. Is it going to be enough, though, as we do see that the Slardar is only taking a few tower shots, and both sides will part ways. At least the Oracle will survive, and
you know, with that hook, I couldn't tell if he was trying to save his ally or going for a Slardar.
Give him the benefit of the doubt. He's had a few good moments and a few lesser ones, but at the same time, he's been very... a contribution to the game as a whole. So at least he's not been like a Kuroki Pudge, you know?
Yeah. Alright, well now Aruka under the tower. Slaughter's not really helping him out. Silence. And that amp damage needs to be reapplied, but they do reapply it, and that should be a kill. Trap under the tower. There's someone afraid to go next to him.
Soul Ring.
No, they were going to track.
Oh, he doesn't get it!
Dude, there was... Oh, Courier? No, not going to die. If you know what they were doing? They waited for the track to come. That's why they were not killing him. And that,
if he Soul Rings mid-Dismember, he actually could have just suicided. Because when you're at less than 150 HP with Radon, all you do is just hit the Soul Ring, and you are almost guaranteed to kill yourself.
Alright.
So in that case, he could have denied them so much gold, but doesn't hit it.
Okay. And this Storm, or sorry, this Phantom Assassin, this Storm is his name, and confused me a bit. It's doing quite a bit. Score is 5-3 and 2, but you're trading kills. You have bounty. You get silencer. Yeah, you're getting a lot out of it.
12 intelligence. I mean, when you're hitting about a 1 int per minute, you're in a pretty good spot. You're in a pretty good groove. You're constantly being involved, and the fact is they just have a kill advantage as a whole. But this is a bit surprising. While most of what we've seen leading up to TNC taking the tier 1 after all these kills makes a lot of sense, this is a little ambitious, but with the fact that TX put out so much single target damage over time and the amp damage, it's going to be a freebie.
Yeah, I mean, Mongolz does have Ravage, but there's really not much damage after that, and of course they have Global on the side of TNC, so they feel super confident going into it. We do see that very classic trade that you see since the beginning of time here in Dota 2. The Radiant does get the tier 1, or at least tries to.
That's the problem, is it's not a full trade-off. They might have some good vision behind the tower and are laying a really good trap, but unless they actually take the tower, TNC are extremely happy about the exchange. And of course, the fact that PA now has an Aegis to expedite her aggression, it's going to be very scary for Mongolz.
Yep. Entirety of TNC going behind the mid towers, hoping that somebody will be foolish and stand there, but they find nobody. And I think they're okay trading this tower for a tier 1 now. Not that TNC push any faster, but they are getting a trade regardless with a siege unit hitting a tier 1.
So, I'm looking at Cuckoo's items and I'm thinking Desolator into BKB and then just try to end the game. Because if you try to take this late game against the Slark, you're just going to get Silver Edge, you're going to be pretty unhappy. Silencer starts falling off pretty quickly as the game goes on. If anybody's picking up BKBs, Guardian Greaves, anything that dispels. So, I really do think that TNC, they're getting a lot of momentum here and they want to make the most of it. Which means that they should really just be focusing on the first 30 minutes of the game.
I agree. Well, they are focusing right now here. Blink Dagger being thrown up. Okay, they get the kill, but that means the hook goes on the PA, and they have Ravage.
Yeah.
No, you global for this, right? You global, let him walk out. Global is going to be committed here. Cuckoo is going to say, I'm out of here, and it's up to Arika to get the hook. They don't. So not exactly the best trade. They got Oracle, which was a track kill, but they had to spend global and Aegis for that.
And now Slark is going to be ready to get involved with this Shadow Blade that just came up here. I think if the Tide is a little bit more aggressively positioned, then he can probably get the Ravage anyways, but then you're putting yourself in a position just to get killed off really, really fast.
Right.
So, in the end, they just kind of get a small point of leverage by breaking the Aegis, and at least for a couple minutes they know there's no global. So
this is a great time to smoke. No global, like you said. No Aegis, so it's time to go. Shadow Blade being shown off. They got the Ravage that has not been used yet, but smoke broken on the back line here. Track flying out, and they just lose the ticket right from the get-go. Ravage, they have no blink yet, Sam H.
Oh, come on. They need something back the other way, but the track and sprint movement speed is too much, and it's going to be a freebie. They're going to be able to blink out of this one, and TNC are going to make out like bandits.
I just super unlucky for Mongolz. They made all the right call, but ooh, Cass now being found. Dusty's going to be their easy hook. If not, these creeps don't block it, but looks like that won't even be necessary. Proxy picks it up for the team. But, you know, they're not the one that's getting track kills, so honestly, that's just a 4-position bounty that you just killed. It's like, whatevs.
Yeah, and Rior doing Rior things, continuing to push in this top lane thanks to the wonderful thing of that is reactive armor, and he's in a great position right now with the Bloodstone. He's going to be having the Hood very soon. Just a really just clear-cut game for him so far.
Yeah, I gotta say, this is classic C Dota if you guys never seen it. You know, 26 kills in 17 minutes. There's, you know, action happening left and right, but like you said, TNC can't just forget about, you know, going for the high ground, start taking these objectives, because Retribution.
He wants it, he wants it.
Okay. Should be a kill. Crush, very nicely done, and he's going to try to TP out. Will not make it.
Not canceled by a stun, but...
we good, yeah.
But still. PA's actually making a move too with the invisibility rune. Is this actually going to be an opportunity? I'm not so sure. I mean, yeah, there's this back line that's a little bit exposed, but he's still got Ravage.
Without the Slaughter, it's going to be somewhat difficult, especially into the Ravage, like you said. But he is providing all the vision. No detection just yet. And now chasing the tie on the left side. That seems very over-ambitious, but they're going to go for a Ravage. Not going to fly out just yet. Track is available onto his... Ravage will fly out. Now they're going to go right on the Silencer. Silencer does have global. He will use it right before he dies. Now they're going to focus on Masquerade. Looks like Track got debuffed off by his Kraken Shell. 1-for-1 is the exchange. Now they're chasing a little bit more. Hook onto the low ground here. And now the bite and the rot going on Cuckoo. Can they actually have some backup? Oracle! Okay, Oracle out of range here. And now Cass needs to keep tracking, especially for that Cuckoo on the right side. Cuckoo looks like he blink strike to the creep wave. And we'll be okay.
Oh, that should not happen. That should have been Fortunes and into Purifying Flames, and then Pudge gets a guaranteed kill. Even if it's like a 17 wand charge, it's still a dead Cuckoo. But no, instead he's only going to cast out the Flames, and Cuckoo is able to sneak himself away, now healing up actually very rapidly. Slark's going to be on the hunt, but I'm not sure they get him in time. It really comes down to where he maneuvers from here. If he just goes for the TP, maybe Ariuka finds the hook. It just has to get past the creep wave in order to do so.
Alright, let's see how the second half of this fight will progress here. Cass looks like he will be fine as well. Now Ruka is going to get focused down by the Timbersaw. Timbersaw quite out of mana. Hook's going to miss. Dagger's going to come right back in, and so will the Slaughter. One kill, secondary kill, and that's a double for Rior. Looks like Retribution had enough. He's going to port home. At the end of the fight, that was like 4-for-1 if you count the Slaughter dying previously to this. Multiple track kills were had. And, well, more fights being won by TNC.
Yeah, so one thing that the Global is really good at accomplishing here is preventing the Oracle from saving anybody. But we have not seen a false promise save, and it's almost exclusively because there is a Silencer in this game. I mean, yeah, there's a couple times where it's Blink Crush jumps and the Oracle dies too quickly, but there are plenty of times where he just dies in silence. And so this hero is, in a weird way, countering one of Mongolz supports, and he's again benefiting so much from every kill exchange that comes out here. It's not the offlaner you're expected to really tip the scales with the Slaughter as a dual lane, but it actually worked out pretty well the way that they laned it, and It just seems like Mongols don't really have a good answer, at least not yet. The Silver Edge finally coming out for Retribution, we'll see if it's a game changer, but you expect TNC is going to have a lot of sentries at this point.
Yeah, you really need the items to answer that silencer, like Reeves from the TIE Hunter, maybe a Lotus Orb on the supports, and maybe a BKB on the Slark, but obviously we're still 20 minutes into the game. They don't have those big items yet, and that means this silencer is going to reign supreme for a little bit longer. And I think a large part of that is how quickly the rest of TNC kills, right? They really take advantage of that 4 or 5 seconds of silence when you have a PA that's critting, when you have Slaughter that's jumping in. Even Timber and Bounty, they do quite a bit of burst damage, so maybe at last pick that both of us, or at least you were a little bit doubtful about, but it's been paying off.
Yeah, I mean, it's not been like showing its strength to the point where it's like definitely like the pick, but it's still been
it's working
quite
out.
Consequential, and it's definitely not been like hurting their lineup at all.
What do you about keeping 1 point in last war? He's actually taking Glaives of Wisdom up. I found it super dubious. By the way, top lane Rior getting focused on, but now Global comes out. He's gonna get a quick return kill.
That damage is so good. Pudge with a lot of raw strength, but Rior able to cut right through it. And all these skills maxed out at this point.
Oh, Rior goes a little bit too deep. He might actually die here, dropping extremely low. Looks like Sanke is gonna laser him down. Okay, I don't think he could go on the TIE Hunter. They will retrack him and damage. Gets the heck out. Cuckoo though. Alright. Are they actually going to re-engage into this?
It's an interesting position to be in. They have
no global.
They know about the Bounty Hunter, but who do they really go on here? Nobody's vulnerable.
Yeah, Pudge is back. He's porting up top. He's going to rejoin the fight. Gushu will fly out. They still got the Ravage. Trying to actually burn him down a little bit slowly. The mech will give him that Ravage HP, but nobody's committing until the very last fight. That is super well done by TNC. Don't think that was a track kill because of the Kraken Shell keep debuffing it. And now somehow the Pudge has been gone on after he just poured it into the fight. He's also out. TNC fighting very, very well.
Yeah, spacing their movements out so that the Ravage is never really an option. And on top of that, getting the Sentry Ward down, so the Retribution's only option is to leave his ally behind. So TNC really just getting every kill that they want and moving forward. I mean, you talked about the last word. Obviously, it's a great spell. I always think it's one of the ones you should prioritize in terms of maxing out. But maybe he's realizing that there are a lot of dispels, and this debuff gets removed pretty easily.
Right.
If it's put on the wrong hero. So just getting the guaranteed damage out as he is stacking up that in.
Bottom lane, Anti-Mage dropping low, but he's going to be fine. In fact, Retribution, Usange missing the vision on that rocket as well. They do not get the kill. Anti-Mage, by the way, has gone for a Midas. This is a build that you see quite a bit, especially when you're looking to fight so actively. You want to keep up that level and that goal gain. So, and he's going to go straight for what I believe to be a BKB.
Yeah, I think just go and get everybody a BKB this game if you can, and just kind of move in off of that. I mean, what can Tide, Tinker, Oracle do against BKBs? It's just really weak. It will make it so that Slark is really the only real hero this game, and even he's looking at Echo Saber. I was gonna say Orchid, but old habits. It's the Echo that'll continue to put out some good physical damage. But if everybody has BKB, like he can't shoulder that entire responsibility on his own.
Yep. I would say that Orchid is definitely an item that you can consider on Slark, but not before Echo.
No, Echo's just too damn good.
Okay, Retribution coming back in, and there is a Ray of Fear. Nice hook into the tree lines, and immediately fighting up, but Global comes out, and now Anti-Mage is fighting. He blinks out, in fact, he's going to be fine. Rior is still in the fight, and now the rest of TNC hero has joined in. Ravage still to be poised, and they do pop it out only on 2 heroes. He might die here, but the rest of the team should be taking down the backlines here. Cass flying out with those multiple tracks here. On the backline, Anti-Mage finds himself a Slark. Slark dropping very low, and he is going to go down. No, gets rid of the vision. He's going to be fine, but Pudge not so fine as the rest of Mongolz getting just completely run down. The vision game that we mentioned during the draft, the tracks, the amp damage, allowing the PA as well as the Timbersaw to give the chase.
Yeah, that was a lot of awkward movement from the Slark. He just didn't seem to have a clear target he wanted to go on. He could have gone on the Timbersaw, being able to debuff the reactive armor, but because he already had some stacks, those don't go away.
Right.
So he instead was looking at the Slaughter that was hooked in the tree line. Of course, when the Dismember comes out, the Global immediately follows it, and that shuts that option down entirely too. I think you really wanted to find the PA there, but Kuka's just been positioning really well, and he's just not been exposed.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it helps your position when you can see half their team all the time, when you have map hack, and of course when you have Baby Blink. So Top tower needs to survive for 1 more minute. My compendium prediction depends on this, but I think, you know, speaking to the tower, neither team pushes that well, right? Both teams has really gone for fighting lineup, so these fights are really going to determine the outcome of the game. Neither team can really split push their way back. I guess Tinker technically can do it, but you know, he's dying too much to get his set of items.
Take that.
And I mean, there have been quite a few deaths on both sides. Like the Oracle has been struggling to survive through fights. Even a Silencer has been picked off quite a few times, as you'd expect, but he always gets the global out, and that's really the only thing that he really needs to worry about. Now going to be some pushing coming out from Cuckoo as he gets Anti-style, and can at the very least continue to pressure lanes. They get the evasion, they get the crit, and it just, of course, he is able to also dispel the Tinker's blind.
Yep, I think that's the big one. It adds a tiny bit of push, just something that you addressed on earlier. You said, I think, Vanguard or Deso. And I think, honestly, that's the build that I would have gone for too in this situation, but that's obviously not a bad any agility here. Except for Lisa.
He used to be terrible on Drow Ranger too, and I had to argue so many Redditors down on that one, but then they buffed Marksmanship to work on illusions, and everything's cool.
Yep. We'll run away for now. He does have that Shadow Blade, or sorry, Silver Edge that you mentioned. And now they do have some methods to kill Cuckoo, but obviously Manta Style, good for debuffing that one too.
Keep doing his own thing, and it looks like their thing is to take the bottom tier 2. Rior again doing some pushing, and Tinker is going to have to play it very carefully here, because that easily could have been killed.
Okay.
What? Interesting smoke coming out from Cast, though. I'm not exactly sure what he expects to push, just...
Maybe a misclick? I don't know.
Yeah, that's definitely possible.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Towers are being traded left and right, but I think, you know, for TNC, they're looking to close out the game, so they'll take these trades. Now.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And I mean, at this point, they're just dominating the whole map. Like, there's no, clearly Mongolz don't feel like they have an option. They don't have a way to this, but...
Okay, that's the way to deal with it. Global coming out a little bit late here, and now Cuckoo committing for the kill. Looks like it was a great deny, and they do get the Aegis as well. Maybe they could set up another kill. Ravage not being placed under it, and TNC gets to retreat. I gotta say, though, that's quite a good trade from Mongolz.
Extremely. I mean, Global as well as the Aegis. I mean, this was the trade that we saw on the top lane earlier. Is
right.
Just like to commit more, and they only get like the support out of it. It's really good in this case because the Global is just not going to be in play, lane. And Mongolz get to be very aggressive.
Blink Crush and the damage output. Oh my god, Coup de Grace. Wow! Right on your face. Desolator is a good item.
I mean, he must have realized that he was being scouted, like the Shadow Dance was not there.
Well, he was hitting creeps, so...
Okay.
Shadow Dance shouldn't be there, right?
Yeah.
From his perspective, at least.
And that is just too far from home, and TNC, even with their lack of Timber Saw, they clearly don't need to back down.
Ooh, hook! Barely missing.
This is their domain. This is Mongolz can play within hook range of their base.
Yep.
You go outside of hook range, and you are going to be in the danger zone.
But, you know, these two hooks, this set up these favorable trades, right? And this is the power of Pudge. Even when you're losing in this kind of stage of the game, he's one of the few supports that can make those game-changing plays, and he has been. So there's still quite a bit of games left to be played. TNC, when they're sieging, you know, a lot of the heroes are awkwardly standing behind the towers, so Mongolz have a lot of opportunities to go for these things.
In the meantime, Sanke's actually gotten quite a few items for himself. I'm wondering when he actually gets the Ghost Scepter. It looks like he wants to actually try to rush for the Aghanim, which is a great item, but he's in a kind of a scary spot where it's like, yeah, you've got Ether, you've got Blink, you've got means to move on the map, but if you get caught, you're just dead. Whereas with Ghost Scepter, there's actually a chance you could turn it back around.
I mean, I think I agree with his choice of going Axe. I feel like you are far enough behind where you start to have to take some risk, even though Ghost Scepter might be the better item. I think when you're looking against a basic siege situation, having 4 rockets and lasers that bounces is probably the way that they stabilize. And, you know, I feel like going into the late game, a Tinker can just take over this game with that Slark.
I would agree if there wasn't a Silencer, but the problem is when you
Oh, you think Silencer's a good pick now?
No, I think that Tinker needs to itemize differently when he's playing against one.
Okay,
and
that's fair.
In the situation where you get global, you're literally doing nothing. So your Ether or your Axe doesn't matter, and you still just get like 3 shot by the TA.
That's fair.
So whenever the global comes out, just Ghost, and then you can wait out the global and then start using your items and abilities.
Well, Masquerade does get that Lotus Orb. So he can pop it on a Tinker if the situation calls for it.
Sure, it's definitely possible, especially if he can go for a Guardian Greaves next to make sure.
Oh,
that
you
he's
know what the
secure,
play
too.
is? You pop it on proxy. Team immediately Delta hugs, right? Delta hugs for the Fortunes and Mass debuff.
For the Slithering Crush plus Whirling
No.
Death.
Don't
Timber
worry about
Shade,
that. Don't worry about
Chakra.
that. You get de-silence. That's the key point that I'm trying to make.
Yeah, the super anti-global. You vacuum your own team.
Yeah. I mean, mechanically it does work.
It does.
Yeah. Alright, TNC now.
In fact, you could predict the global, and Proxy could already be channeling it on himself, and everybody jumps on him when the global comes out.
That is more next level. I went for the logical play. That what you said is some TI-18 winner shit.
That is.
Yeah.
So, at this point, TNC, this is their last smoke. They've been a little bit aggro, but they still have one left in the bank, and they are looking to try to find somebody farming a creep wave without getting hooked.
Alright, Aruka, this is your time, man. Just throw a random one out there.
Man, that would be the most godlike predictions.
Look, if you could
Dude, at that
predict
point,
the global coming out, right?
what you do is you scan that area, you see there's a smoke in that area, and you throw it out and get it on the front page of Reddit.
Or backban, either one.
Yeah, probably both.
Alright.
It's worth it.
Axe is up.
Karma, man.
Whether you like it or not, Axe is up, and I think
mean,
it's fine.
I like it if like he can survive through global.
Yeah.
The problem is, it's far less likely he'll survive through global against this team and these kind of heroes. Like, he'll go in, he'll be like, I'm about to blind somebody, and then he'll just get silenced in 2-shot, and he'll have absolutely no response.
Oh, despite the fact that TNC is rolling, the fact that is Mongolz base still stands.
That is true.
Pushing up high ground against Axe Tinker, when you have your best pusher as a PA, it ain't great. So, I wouldn't count Mongo out just yet.
So, gonna be able to at least keep things pushed out here and hoping for the best. If they get the Ether Lens up on Pudge, he can continue to be that real base defender, the sentinel on the hill that makes it very difficult for TNC to approach the situation. They don't have any good range siegers, so they kind of just have to go for kills, and that's why, again, we're seeing the smoke play from TNC.
And this is the last one, right, you mentioned?
Yes, it was at least the last in the shop. It's about to, in 50 seconds it'll come off cooldown. So.
By the way, they scouted this, they smoked under this ward behind the towers over here, so you can see that the Radiant team is huddled up behind the towers. Pudge about to finish his Aether Lens. I would say that despite how good Aether Lens is, maybe working towards an Lotus might be better for the team, but I mean, obviously, he hasn't been getting kills. His bankroll has been relatively small, so.
And they're in a very defensive position where Ether is definitely much more valuable.
Sure.
Because you can pull them that much deeper into your own base, and it's that much harder for TNC to really kind of... There's like a moat, okay, around the fortress of the Radiant, and it's an invisible moat, but there's sharks in it, and the sharks are shaped like Pudge hooks, and if you try to pass into that territory, the demilitarized zone, you're going to see just really bad things happen.
And these Pudge hooks, these sharks, they have no sense of logic. Sometimes they get you, sometimes they don't, you know? So it's really hard to...
It's hard to train sharks, okay? Especially invisible ones.
Right. Oh, one thing that we haven't mentioned is that I think in the previous teamfight, Retribution has somehow gone Cass's gem. So that's definitely a pretty big win for the team that we haven't mentioned. Obviously great against the bounty. He could start dewarding next to his, or with his Shadow Dance. So that's great.
Yeah, very much so. That is definitely something I didn't catch. I feel like I knew that there was a gem purchase, but I actually didn't see when it traded hands. Definitely allows them to see much more into Slardar's movements, Bounty Hunter's movements, as well as take care of all those pesky wards. There's really only two major areas where Dire has good vision, and they're already pinging those out.
Yep. They will still need somebody to go there, unless Retribution wants to pounce up the hill. Probably a little dangerous. Meanwhile, on the right side here, Sanke laying out his marsh, and you can see Sam H is really looking, although the robots are also looking for him. As he is just... Alright, this is not great for our Fishman.
And in the end, I guess Roshan is going to be the catalyst for the next stage.
Oh god. Rior? Alright, it's going to try to TP out. Oh, Yulscepter picks him up!
Yeah, he's in trouble.
And his Wards is also in trouble, because there is no way that an Orko is there to smell the roses.
In the meantime, they'll just keep camping the rush pit, and I think that is going to be the go time. I mean, they have 10-second BKB on both the PA and the Slardar. When they get Aegis, they're going to be just dandy to break the base, no matter how many hooks you throw out.
I mean, do you actually think that Aegis is a big factor, especially the way that Mongol is looking to defend?
The way that PA suicides, yeah. Cuckoo usually goes in and does nothing with his first life. The way he's been running around with this token.
And now that's the buffer zone, right, for that first life. Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
Like you can get hooked, start off the fight, and then turn it around with the second life with a global. It's beautiful.
Sure.
If they undercommit for your kill with the Aegis, then you just go ahead and global them and turn it. And if they overcommit and burn everything just to take you down once, then you have one more life to work with. Then they got cheese as well. Not sure if that's going to be the biggest thing for Timbersaw, but it's something for sure.
Sure. We have BKB completed here on the Slark, so that's a big take up for him at least. He'll try his best to push out the wave as much as possible. I am getting a little bit of that Kardel here on I don't know why. Hopefully that'll go away soon.
Hopefully.
Alright, and here comes that siege.
So, I mean, they've kind of made their intentions clear. They've got the roach, they've got the map, and they're looking to finish things off.
I don't think they will get this. Honestly, Tinker, if he's smart, he just saves for buyback. I mean, he's not too far away from that gold scepter too. If he wants to, you know, wait 200-300 gold. So
they get a pipe though. I mean, they got the Timbersaw pipe is going to be able to deal with a lot of the incoming damage, either the heat-seeking missiles.
They're looking for him, but Sanke's already out. He is just too fast, and now that's more time being bought.
Yep, delaying. The best thing that they can do is actually break this Aegis through time. If they can just wait for the full 5-minute duration, that would be absolutely incredible for them because they would be able to start rekindling their team and getting the big items out. Like you talk about Lotus Orbs, Guardian Greaves is something I mentioned. The Slark is getting bigger and bigger. 10-second BKB. Echo.
Looking for the crush. They will find out Retribution. Are they going to pop? Okay. I was going to say, are you going to global for this? No. Cuckoo's going to press his coup de grace button. And that's a kill.
And at this point, they were looking for one or two heroes, either Tinker or the Slark. They have an anti-Tinker ward set up, but it's actually the Slark that they find out. It's just vulnerable in mid lane, so they're going to be walking right to the base, no fear at all, and it's going to be on Tinker to hold the line.
No, he's holding for now, but Reor's in there. Masquerade pops a Lotus on himself. He does have the mech, as well as 17 wand charges, but Tinker needs to make something happen. Hook number 1 will miss. Sanke's in there. Laser rocket, that's a lot of damage on Cuckoo especially. They don't really have that much sustain.
The pipe is going to have to pop just to keep him up and kicking, and they don't have any real way to bring him back up.
Right.
Yeah, he gets the cheese, the Guardian Greaves is also there, and that's about it.
We're jumping in, and oh my god, where that high go? I lagged and he's dead. And that Global's going to come out. No goals on the Tinker. He will die, but he does have the buyback. He'll pop it immediately. The rest of the team, though, let's see if they're going to stay. Looks like Cuckoo's going to stay and hit the tower at least a little bit. And they'll back out. Slark's back in 10 as well,
yeah,
so...
they didn't have to buy back on the Slark is massive. He's still got 10-second BKB. He doesn't have to buy back. This is actually really good for Mongolz in terms of long-term defense.
Well, except the fact that they lost Tinker and he had to buy back.
Of course. That's really detrimental, but that's going to happen when you get global.
Alright. Well, I guess for TNC now, you find a Tinker one more time. That's almost guaranteed a GG. And Cass is having eyes here on Retribution.
Oh, not again here in mid. He's going to Dark Pack, but if they can just go for the crush and go for that big crit, hit your coup de grace, it's going to be a false promise.
Alright, he saved up, and now the chase goes the other direction. Anti-Mage, gonna get hooked. And that's a good pick here. And he drops the gem from the team here. Gem, he passes around with Complicated Retribution, dropping low, but he pounces out. And
very scary, very scary. Ends up being the one disarmed instead of Cuckoo, and that is just ugly.
They're going back with that slaughter into Ravage. That has some questionable stuff, and this Cuckoo, the Mongolz comeback. TNC backing up. Maybe not here. Masquerade's gonna drop that 3-man Ravage hook here against Cuckoo. Cuckoo blinks to the left side, trying to crit his way out, but that's gonna be Aegis. We are trying to cause as much havoc as possible. Maybe a secondary hook from Aruka. Well, that'll be it. Honestly, that's just a freebie given by TNC.
Yeah, the Aegis wasn't going to last that much longer, though. I don't think there's enough time for them to regroup with Global, with all 5 heroes, and have that Aegis. So, in the end, it is a gimme, and the starter was too, but I don't think it breaks TNC's position that much further. The fact is that they weren't able to put up the offensive for another 30 seconds or so anyways.
Oh, crits are coming out.
Yeah, can't count out that. that passive is just absolutely insane. It's one that Silver Edge hasn't taken off much yet. I don't think I've seen the PA actually break. I want to say broken, but I want to emphasize I'm talking about the effect that Silver Edge applies break on the PA. That's not been the case, and that is obviously limiting the potential value of the Slark here.
I mean, even though the Silver Edge could take down their damage by what, 40 or 50%? 40, I think it is. The item's definitely much more of an offensive item than a defensive one, right? So
yeah, and the problem is they've just been initiated on every time. Like they're trying to farm out just a little bit further, and TNC just eats that up. Almost hit him.
Alright, well, we're moving to the same stage of the game where it's all about Tinker split pushing and not getting caught, which, I mean,
all right.
it's okay. It's a pretty good track record.
But at the same time, we do have a Satanic now on the PA, which means that they do have a way of healing her back up after she gets poked down by the Tinker. She just needs about 2 seconds of FaceTime with anybody. That's not an illusion. She's going to be able to bring herself up to pretty much full HP.
There's a double damage in the river. I'm sure Cuckoo will like to pick that one up. 16-30 is the score here for TNC. I guess you could even wait for the next Roche if you... I mean, is there anything too big that Mongolz could pick up in the next couple of minutes?
I mean, obviously you're already dealing with the Silver Edge, so from there the MKB, the Tinker could get an Ethereal Blade. I think that would be really strong. And Guardian Greaves on the Tide Hunter. So yes, there are a few things.
Okay.
Wow, these marches are just ridiculous looking on my screen. They're like moving in.
Oh, you're getting lag too.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm not sure if it has to do with the server. So far we haven't had no pauses, but it's been a little hit or miss in terms of our full visual effect here in the game.
I mean, generally C or connection to C has been decent.
Yeah, it's been good.
But I don't know what's happening here. Alright, well, maybe TNC doesn't want to wait for Roche, but maybe they have to. As the brick wall that is Tinker is keeping them out.
Yeah, and they're just going to get tankier. If the Oracle can kind of keep sitting back and get hit up by a Lotus Orb whenever the Global comes out, he can save one person at least, if not the full huddle. And I actually do feel like they're getting in a better position as time goes by. Mongolz, as long as they keep all 6 racks alive, the game extending is only favorable for them.
I mean, at the same time, there's also that, you know, loaded dice of Cuckoo, right? Sometimes she blinks in and does a kill, and even Oracle can't react that fast, so something that TNC can still count on as this late game approaches.
Sure, and she's gonna have a basher too, so easily could just take somebody out of position, take somebody down immediately with no response whatsoever, and you don't even have to necessarily global for that. It all depends on the situation.
And of course, this Go Grab
Oh my gosh! Admin paused the game, and Sanke is in the trees next to Teehee. What is about to happen?
Oh god. Is he dead? Buyback's on cooldown for 1 minute and 50 seconds, but he looks like he's backed up. I say that the Rior is coming right in damage. Going for the Oracle. Defensive hook is going to come out. They do lose Oracle. And now Retribution will blink out immediately. Rior under the tower, tanking it for the team. And Sanke will be dead too. No buyback for your mission for a while. Nice pause.
And GG is about to come out, I do believe.
Maybe Cuckoo is going to go right on Retribution. He's going to be dead as well. Oh, Masquerade going to go down. That's going to be 4-0 triple kill on Rior. GG, well played. And I gotta say, there's a lot of skulls.
Oh, I'm sure. But, I mean, that was, a Finol level pause, but the problem was that he immediately unpaused instead of letting the team take care of it. However, that being said, I don't think that changes the state of things in any way, because he had already blinked into the tree next to 2 enemies when the pause had come out.